trying to get it out of there.
Yeah, I don't want it in the view, you know. I really wish we had like a little lower chairs or a little higher chairs or...
Maybe this off season, when turkey season's over and we're kind of just in fish mode.
Yeah.
We take a break and, go fishing in the morning, come back, work on the studio, and then go fishing again.
So what we're going to do is when you're talking and we're ready to switch subjects, I'll bring it up. You know what I mean? I'll click it. I'll look down so I'm not looking the whole time at the ground.
Oh, yeah, at the computer or whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready?
Archery hunters, listen up. If you find yourself in the heart of King County, do yourself a favor and stop in at Rock Creek Archery, located in Tukwila. They have everything you need if you're just beginning to the sport or you've been shooting for 20 years, even an indoor shooting range. Or check them out at rockcreekarchery.com.
This section of the broadcast is brought to you by Burpaw, burpaw.com.
Use Ridge15 at checkout to receive a sweet discount.
Hey everybody, if you are looking for a game call that is elk, turkey, deer, predator calls, waterfowl calls, we highly recommend PhillipsGameCalls.com. Professional grade game calls made for every hunter.
Welcome back to the Ridgeline Hunting Podcast, brought to you by Phelps Game Calls, with your hosts, David Crane and David Sandana.
All right, everybody. We are jumping in to our turkey season. You're not going to see this till Monday or listen to it on Monday, which we would already have been turkey hunting. So
not only are we jumping in, we're 24 hours from going head first.
Yeah.
Full submersion, and we're excited what we're going to find. This is what, 5th year hunting turkeys, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I would, oh, shoot. Might be even longer than that. We don't count the blip.
Yeah, the 3-year, the COVID blip thing. Yeah. Jeez, I hate even the word.
I know, man. That's why I call it the blip.
It's like, we should just start calling it the blasphemy or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say we're probably close to 7 years.
Well, our experience in the Northwest, in Washington especially, our experience through the pandemic was different than a lot of places in the country. It wasn't your typical, I mean, we weren't allowed to go fishing, well, technically, and we weren't allowed to go hunting, technically.
Yeah.
You couldn't, I think they shut down Department of Fish and Wildlife's website, so you couldn't even buy a license. So it wasn't like if you were doing it, unless you pre-purchased, you probably were illegally.
Well, here's the thing, too, is that they opened it right at the kickoff. So you were able to do it, but it was like last minute. Because that was the year that Devin shot his first turkey.
Crazy, man. It seems like
2020?
yesterday, but I'm glad it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, we don't even talk about it anymore. But it kind of messes up when you're kind of thinking about time. It just kind of messes you up. I think that's how we got on that subject. But
we're going to start calling BC before COVID.
Oh, shoot.
Like, hey, remember hunting BC? That was a different era, man. You didn't have to worry about anything.
Oh,
you just go out and do what you do, and like nobody had any sort of account of time. Now we have this BC AC after COVID, so now we can remember, yeah, we have a good designator, and it's on an even year, so that's cool. 2020, done, year zero. So yeah, but we're jumping into our turkey season. We're going to talk today about several topics. We're going to talk about how you're going to find a bird, locate a bird, calls we're going to use, and calls people can use to bring them in when you do locate them.
Yep.
We're going to get specific to our state, how things are kind of broken down in different programs they have available for first-time hunters and experienced hunters, or someone who just wants to try.
How the state is actually split. So we have an east and west side.
So we have some weird rules. And other states may have them too, but bag limits vary based on the division of the state. Yeah. Also, sometimes the county in the state.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically one county.
And then we're going to talk about our gear.
Yep,
like just a little
gear setup.
Kind of briefly, I'm wearing this cool vest mainly because it's cool. Secondly, because it holds my turkey stuff, and I wanted to look cool while I talked about it. And so we're going to jump into it. Here we have, we're on the Phelps Game Calls website, who is our primary sponsor for this show. Mm-hmm. And we have here turkey locator calls. So the number one thing people hear, I've heard people say, we're not a huge turkey state compared to lots of states.
Yeah, I would say usually during the spring, people get fired up for bear season, to be honest. And now we don't have that season.
Yeah, the not to get too far in the weeds, but the bear situation here in Washington is that we have a spring bear hunt traditionally, and there's only so many tags given out. So some people will get fired up for it, but a majority of the people, I feel, are more into the other things going on at the time. You have the lake openers for fishing. You have the turkey season, which is nationally probably one of the largest game species hunted besides deer.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Bird hunting is something that I'm keenly in tune with. I'll say not something I'm super experienced, but I do have. I love waterfowl. We've talked about it. I won't say 100 times, but 45 episodes in, we've talked about it 48 times.
Yeah,
every single time.
Close.
Basically, I try to throw a bird in there here and there. It's like my thing,
Well, when that's like your, I don't know, when you're really passionate about something, you're going to bring it up. You're going to find a way to bring it up.
The way that you have people that will get like binoculars and like compound telescopic lenses, and they take a picture of a bird like at the refuge. Mm-hmm. They'll go to the Billy Frank Refuge, and my buddy's uncle, he was always like, I got this new camera and this new lens. We're going down to the Billy Frank Refuge. I got a picture of this certain kind of bird. I'm like, I don't want to say the R word, but I'm like, that is not my thing. I'm not like a bird picture taker.
Yeah.
I do appreciate a nice bufflehead. And for those that don't know, a bufflehead is a waterfowl. But when you have them in your hand or when you have them up close, they look black and white. But when you have them in your hand, they're purple. Their wings are like pearlescent, and they have, when the light hits them, they turn purple. So the scientist in me is thinking, I wonder if the ducks only see the purple. Like the shiny, shimmery purple.
Oh.
Kind of like an Edward Cullen-esque type thing.
Well, their eyesight is so good, too. So I guarantee they probably do see the vibrant colors.
I'm sure. I mean, every single bird species has those type of feathers that reflect light, and they change colors. And
sorry, everybody. You see me moving, I'm fixing the light in the camera.
It's all good. So I think I start thinking about those things, like what is attracting birds from a distance, because they see a long way. I just had like just a tangent in my brain here, just thinking like,
yeah, we're going off in the weeds.
Like
here.
you have a turkey decoy, right?
Yeah.
Jake's up here just chilling. Mm-hmm. He's always watching us in the studio.
Yeah, he's always here. He's got a sombrero on. Yeah. He's hanging out.
We'll have to bring him in. We'll bring him in the second half. So Jake is just painted flat paint, basically. It's a little shiny, shimmery. But what if they could figure out how to paint in the iridescent scheme that birds see? Would that be like a next level decoy? Would that be a next level? I mean,
Well, I've seen some decoys where they try to do that. Jeez, with the camera. But you're spending, $150 for one decoy. I mean, you're spending the money for it. They have them. I don't know if they're like to the exact, but
be a lot closer. Anyhow, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So you're going out tomorrow. I'm going out probably Saturday. What's going on?
Dude, I don't know. The lighting.
Don't even worry about it.
I'll fix it.
We have technical difficulty.
Yeah, sorry.
If
everybody.
Hey, Jamie, can you fix the lighting on the camera?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that's me. Yeah, we're just gonna kick it like this. I'll fix it.
Yeah,
if I have to. Yeah, I am leaving tomorrow. Actually, our season starts Saturday on the 15th. But yeah, we're heading out tomorrow after work. I'm gonna load the truck up, and I am out. Just basically a 1.5 day hunt. We're going to be pretty much weekend warrior in it the whole season. For at least for me, I don't have any extra PTO to take. We have a family vacation coming up, and then I'm taking a lot of time off to hunt bears. Never tagged a bear, and a huge focus is going to be on bears this year for me. So it's going to be a weekend warrior event for turkeys, and it's going to be hard hunting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Well, hopefully the bear thing turns out really good.
We'll see. I have a lot of faith.
We're going to go into an area. I don't want to go. Let's not get into that.
No, we're not going to get into that.
We're talking turkeys here. Let's do the turkey thing.
Do that. We'll do that some other time. But
this is how things go. You can really get down the tangent rabbit hole to infinity and beyond. It's crazy.
So let's talk about some of these locator calls. So here with Phelps, we have the Harrison Hooter, the owl call. There's a couple crow calls. And to be honest with you, locating a tom is basically just like shock gobbling him when you're kind of using these calls, because they get freaked out when they hear something like any types of those birds. So they'll just gobble. And that is a very easy way to locate a tom.
To say there's a bird this way.
Yep.
And what I was talking about earlier was people I've heard say a lot of times is I went turkey hunting and I couldn't even find one. So the location call could be a key ingredient to locating birds first.
Yeah.
And once you do that, key in on their their
location.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can
okay, I
triangulate
heard something
where
in
they're
like
at.
this zone right here. Mm-hmm. So let's start heading that way. And then once you've done that and you close the distance a little bit, I would not use it again. Because if you get too close, they won't do anything. They will shut up.
Yeah, you could. Well, just calling them in. Once you find out where they're at, you don't know how close you are to them. Actually,
no, not yet, because they can turn around, and the volume of their gobble is completely different than them facing you. So, yeah, it's a tricky game. You start playing chess with them, but this is definitely a good chess piece to have in your arsenal.
Do you think it's fair to say that if you could hear a turkey can hear you?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
If you're within earshot of a turkey, you do your locator call, and you hear it, and it's very faint and far off, and you can move quite a distance, and then start trying to call them in. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, you get responses.
That would be the tactic that I would use. So once I've located it with a hooter or a crow, I start moving towards the direction of where I think it is, and then I would start using the box call or mouth diaphragm or pot call. Mm-hmm. That's what I would do. Other people could use different tactics, but that's what I do, and it seems to work.
So we're trying to find the bird and then close the distance a little bit, mm-hmm. and then coax them in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. So in coaxing them in, there's different calls we're going to use. We talked about box calls, pot calls, mouth reads. Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll show you some reads, but I don't want to go over all the reads at this time just because there's so many.
Phelps has a lot of diaphragm reads that you can use, and they all have their own little frequency or raspiness to them. Just a whole different variety of them. And each call can actually, get raspier, or you can tighten it up and get a real crisp call. So, every single one of those diaphragms has a totally different range just in one.
Yeah.
So
we experienced that the other day in the living room.
Yeah, where Dave was messing around with them, and I was like, "Yep, that sounds good." Mm-hmm, yeah. Flipped it over.
It was clean.
Yeah.
So the calls there. So mouth reads we'll talk about briefly. We'll just touch on it. Mm-hmm. They're stamped out of the latex, and I'm not key. I don't know the specifics of the type of latexes, but they have like bat wings and little different V's notched into them, and all those things act like a flickering snake tongue inside there when you're calling.
Yeah.
So that's going to give you your resonance in the call. But every little different punctuation in there is going to make it to where it sounds a little different. I'm a reed guy. I like when I elk hunt, I have 4 or 5 that I'll keep with me all the time, and I know I like this one the best, and here's my second. And if this one doesn't work, I'm going to Squealy. You know, like
old trusty.
They call him Doug Flutie. Go to Doug Flutie. But so we're going to get all these different calls, and maybe if we don't have a call response, we'll switch the call.
Yes.
And Kirk, we've had on the show several times. Him and I bought these calls 7 years ago, let's say. And I went to his house, and I was like, Kirk, check this out. I got this call. Threw it in my mouth. I blew on it a couple times. He goes, leave that shit at home.
Yeah, put that in the garbage.
I was like, nope, not going to do it. I put it in my pocket. I told Kirk, I was like, yeah, I'm keeping these suckers. I didn't say nothing to him. I was like, well, maybe I sound like garbage, So I practiced a little more. And we went out, and he was doing his box cutter. And then he looks at me, and he's like, points to his mouth. He's like, you got the reeds? I was like, yeah. He goes, go ahead and do it. As soon as I just blew the first little, he's like, keep going. Don't.
That's the greatest thing about turkeys and turkey calls, too, is that one might not work. So, you need that different variance of sounds to, like, get them going. And, man, once that hit, boom, it's on fire.
And we've talked about this many times in elk hunting. Because you have calls, you have a call where, say you're hunting an area, there's however many guys there. Say there's 10, right? And 8 out of 10 have the same call. And there's not a lot of variation in tone. So elk have memory, and I think these guys, they live together. You see them in bachelor groups after the season ends, or 3 or 4 of them running together, and they know, like, if you called me on the phone, you said, what's up? Like the Budweiser commercial. What's up? What's up? That's Fred. That's Dave calling me. That's like their caller ID. They know, like, oh, this guy, I don't have to worry about him. He's got no girls. This guy over here, he's probably going to come over and try to take my girls. He's a tough guy. But you get that new call, they're like, who just came into my zone? And so that's kind of the thing I think with turkeys is the females, and maybe this is too deep, but I think the new girls get a lot of attention.
Maybe.
And that's I'm trying to relate things, my scientific side of my brain, right?
Maybe. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
they've been listening to these girls all year.
How the turkeys work. I mean, they go and mingle around once they go, sit on the roost, or if they're, on the ground laying eggs or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Toms are out. They're looking.
So having the variation in the call, as long as it sounds like a turkey, I think you're doing good. And if it sounds like a different hen, maybe something that's not in that area, that's even better. In my opinion, maybe not factually in life, but from my hunting experience with elk,
we're not biologists or anything like that, so we're not going to be able to really tell you how it really works. But in our experiences, this is what we come up with. And to be honest with you, it works.
It's not a bad theory.
No, it is not, because we've had success with that. And we've had success with trying different things. We've also had some non-experienced stuff where we know there's turkeys in the area, but we can't call them in. Because of different things going on. So
I like to call it the hen shield. Last year we experienced this hen shield where we were calling them in, and I'm not even sure if they saw us, but I'm pretty sure
we had like a weird yo-yo effect. It was, they would only come to a certain point and then they would go back. Come to a certain point and then they would go back. And it seemed like we just couldn't close the distance, and it didn't matter what we did.
Well, that spot we were in, the hill kept rolling. I mean, it wasn't like a good slope. Yeah. It was like a rolling pitch. Mm-hmm. Convexed. We needed more concavature. I don't know, something like that. We needed to be a bit flatter. Yeah. We needed more flat. So these turkeys, their little heads pop up, and then they can see, and their heads are the size of an egg, you know, and so their eyes are on kind of towards the top half of that egg. So really, they just need the top half of that egg to be above the sight line to see, like, there's really nothing up there. And they come into that zone, and then maybe they've turned around, and that's kind of what we had. But I don't know how many hens we had close. They were,
when you can hear them
8 or 9, 10, maybe
putting around and stuff like that, they're close. That is not like a sound that's like really
projection.
Yeah, projects far. They were close. They're close enough to where if there was a tom, we could have shot them.
I was ready, man. I was ready so long that my legs started to hurt, like my hamstrings.
Yep.
Because I did what you did. I used the ball of my foot to raise my knee a little bit, and next thing you know, I started feeling like this weird.
Yeah, that's a bad move. You gotta have some shooting sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in a position where I was ready, the direction they were coming from, but I couldn't quite get on my gun well enough.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so held up to where the time passed, and it took a lot out of me, to sit there like that and lift my foot. And so bad strategy. Next year I'm not going to, or in a couple days I'm not going to do it that way.
Yeah. But yeah, using a box call. Actually, Dave has the Phelps one right here. The box call, to be honest with you, that is like a universal call. You can do a bunch of different things with the box call. You can do purrs. You can do whatever you want with the box call. A lot of people do like using the mouth reeds, but as long as the box call stays dry, because once it gets wet, good luck trying to use the box call, only because you have to chalk the upper plate and the side soundboards. Mm-hmm. And that's what gives it the good crisp sound. So once you start losing that, make sure you chalk that back up.
I'm going to give it my best. No, don't judge me on my calling ability, but oh man.
Yeah, these Phelps game calls, to be honest with you, if you are a beginner, you need to pick these up. They are super easy to use.
They sound great too,
and there's
man.
just so
crazy.
much that you can do with them. And also Phelps on their YouTube channel, if you go to Phelps game calls on YouTube, they show you how to use every single call. Every single one.
Which is good.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have your own free class that you can basically take from the experts at Phelps. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, learning how to use a box call is it's not terribly complicated once you get down to basics.
No.
What you can change the tone just by how you pitch the boards and how you hit the second soundboard. Like when the soundboard runs across both sides, I like to call them rails. But once you run across the rail and you hit the other one, click, 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 that sound, it really claps that call. Mm-hmm. And I think it just kills it to enough to where it sounds just like a hen. You know? It's perfect. The second type of call we're going to be using is a pot call, which you use a striker plate. This is the glass turkey pot call. It's this guy here.
Yeah, we're using the aluminum, the one.
Let's bring this up.
Yep, right here.
Aluminum over glass.
Aluminum over glass. This is another call that is very, very easy to use. I mean, if you watch us on YouTube, obviously if you're listening to the podcast, go to our YouTube channel, and we basically open up these calls and just start playing with them. We had never touched them before, and we're making turkey sounds, like instantly out of the box.
Yeah,
it's that easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like my box call, but I think I'm going to be using this.
Yeah, and having the variety is good too. Either one will work, but you got to have a willing bird. So that's
the other thing too, is that you need to find the tom that wants to play. It's very similar to elk, very similar. You got to find the tom or bull that wants to play the game.
Dave, I'm getting excited, man. I can barely sit still.
Yeah, and it's an awesome chess game. I really love springtime only because it's really, if you're not out predator hunting, if you're not out predator hunting, during those early parts of the year in the snow and stuff, this is really your first time back in the woods. Going against an awesome animal. Turkeys are really cool animals. Just how they interact. They have like a hierarchy, like how they go back into their roost in the trees and stuff. There's like a hierarchy of like how the hens go in, and it's really cool. They're a really cool animal. And they're just extremely fun to hunt. I don't know about everybody, but I believe the turkeys here in Washington, they're not stupid. At least the ones that we hunt in the mountains, they're hard to hunt. And it's fun because you're playing a chess game with an animal that all they're trying to do is survive. That's survive and eat and procreate.
You don't
Is that the word?
Yeah, procreate's the clean word. So we met these guys last year. They were from Alabama, and we talked about them before on a previous episode. They were talking about the difference between the birds here and the birds in Alabama.
Yeah, and they mainly hunt easterns. So and they basically just drop out of the roost, eat, and go back up.
Yeah, and it was shocking for them when they started talking to us about what their experience was. They were saying that in Alabama they have a lot more predators that would kill a turkey, like water moccasin, alligator, bobcats, coyotes. And I can't remember what else he was saying, but he's basically saying...
Yeah, and I was like, you're on the ground floor with these things? Like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah. I don't want to be down by any snakes.
No.
And the underbrush there, he was saying, was so thick you can't really maneuver through.
Yeah, just because it's like... It would be like sitting on 40 bags of Dorito chips. Mm-hmm. So imagine trying to just barely move and just... That's all it's going to do.
Yeah, and he was saying that the birds are more susceptible to a predator in thick brush because they can't escape.
Yep.
So they'll come down from their roost, they'll land basically where they're going to eat, and then in his area, they'll land there, they'll do the little milling around just where they can see. They're not going to venture off into anything where they can't see, and then they take off. They go basically, he said, if they land on the ground, that's where they're going to be, and then they fly from there straight back to the roost. They don't do any milling around. They're not going to march through the brush. They're not going to be very adventurous. So that's why it's important for them to locate where the birds are, set their ground blind, get there before light. Bird come down, call them in within a certain distance, reasonable distance, and ambush basically.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways that you can. So once you can also locate birds or toms at night. So it's like putting them to bed. So you can try to find their roost and then come back early morning, set up, not far from the roost, and you can hunt them that way too. I don't necessarily do that, only because it seems like when the birds that we hunt come out of the roost, they actually just fly. So they could be 100 yards away from where the roost is. So you could be set up waiting for daylight, and all of a sudden you just hear B-52s flying over your head.
I think they only, our birds really only have a couple predators to worry about throughout the year.
Mainly coyotes, but...
Yeah, it's either coyote or it's a bobcat or a cougar. Probably not as many cougars as bobcats. Maybe a house cat, maybe. I mean, I've never heard of...
I haven't seen that before, but you never know.
Farm cat.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, there's some pretty tough farm cats out there.
There are snakes, but not like back east.
Yeah, we don't have a snake infestation.
No.
If there is a snake, there's only one kind. It's a rattlesnake. Mm-hmm. And I've only seen one in the wild, and it was about as thick as your thumb. It was not very big. My buddy over in Ellensburg, he kills them every year, like 4-foot long ones, man.
So my Uncle Mike, he's in the Northeast. He has them underneath the porch, and he does like birdshot loads in his revolver, and he just blows them up every summer.
Yeah,
he has them underneath this porch. I was like, dude, you shouldn't have told me that. I'm not a snake.
Good old Uncle Mike.
Yeah, man, he's awesome.
That's funny. I would not be very happy to have poisonous snakes around my house. I think I told you that when I was in Florida, I actually stopped at someone's house and knocked on their door and told them that, hey, man, you got this snake in front of your house. Because I've seen Rescue 911 since I was a kid. I'm like, I know all the danger signs. I'm like, oh, this is a danger sign. This snake is curled up because it's always that thing. It's always like, the thing is like, it was just there. I put my foot down and it jumped and bit me. And I was instantly in my head, that's what I'm thinking about. I tried to warn the folks and they were like, oh, it's just a king snake. King snake, that's the good one. You don't want to mess with them. So I learned a little lesson that day. So it was intriguing to say the least. But the easterns down there in the south, they're just a little different than ours here. Mm-hmm. And coincidentally, this weekend I'm probably going to end up hunting Easterns, and you're going to be hunting Merriam's and Rios.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is nice that we have the 3 species in Washington.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that, but before we do, we're going to take a little break. All right, everybody. Nice little short break.
We're back in action.
Yeah. And we are talking about the spring turkey season. We're going to talk about our rules and regulations for Washington State.
This is more specific for us, and people interested in coming here. It is a unique place. It's beautiful in many aspects. We have rainforests, oceans, sounds, lakes, high mountains, alpine lakes, alpine hunting, deserts, plateau, shrub steep. I mean, you name it. I mean, you can fish everything. There's bass, there's trout, all your little panfish, crappie, walleye, catfish, sturgeon, salmon, Pacific cod, lingcod, green lingcod. I mean, there's so many different things you can do.
Well, that and just the hunting is outrageous as well. We don't really get a whole lot of credit for hunting here in Washington State. We have three species of deer, 2 different elk.
Nope. 4 species of deer.
Okay,
there's one protected.
We can't hunt one.
Yeah.
So 3 that you can hunt.
Yeah. 3 you can hunt. Columbian white-tailed deer is a protected species in Washington State. It's in southwest Washington on the Columbia River. There's a little zone.
So what they did was the whitetail from the east basically followed the Columbia River all the way to the west coast. And there's just...
The Columbia whitetail, it's protected. I've never even seen one.
I haven't either.
There's a spot you can go where they have viewing. Like it says, it's on. I want to say it's. What the heck is it? It's next to the Bear River unit. No, it's not Bear River. Anyhow, Cathlamet area. There's a spot that there's a wildlife viewing area. They're supposed to have the Columbia whitetail there, but I've never seen one. If they're like their cousins, they ain't visible. They're hidden.
Yeah,
unless you got a cornfield. So we do have a lot of wildlife, and I dream that Washington one day will become what it was. And you can go to our sportsman's events here in the Northwest. We really do have an incredible wildlife opportunity. We have some world-class animals, and everybody knows how species are mainly nocturnal. The ungulates are nocturnal animal, but they're out during daytimes occasionally. You're going to kick one up or see them. They'll be out eating or whatever, but they survive well at night. So it's, whitetail do the same thing.
Yeah.
They say, oh, they're nocturnal. They went nocturnal. They hunt all year waiting for that time. They come out in the daytime. Hopefully they're there when they're there. But it always seems like your trail cam catches pictures of animals when you just left. You know, you're
my gosh. If you go to our Instagram page on Ridgeline Hunting or the Ridgeline Hunting podcast, or actually on YouTube as well, I did a short. I have a giant 6x6 bull that was there 2 days after I was there.
Yeah, that's the what do they call dichotomy of hunting?
It's like during the day where I would have been there.
That was my spot. I would have been there had it been 3 days from now. You know,
you could see the tree where I was standing.
It is funny, and we do have, you know, you can look at the record books. We have world class size animals, and just like anywhere, I'm not sure where they go, but they're around even to this day.
Yeah,
you know,
they're all over the place. I mean, what was it? 4 or 5 years ago, we went out late season. During late season, there was an area that we went to that was like cow only. All of a sudden, we see like 4 bulls coming out of the snow and up this hill, and we're just like, "Oh,
are you talking about
gosh.
the triple main beam?
Yeah,
That was crazy.
Yeah,
we saw a bull that had his right side had 2 main beams, and I'd never seen one of those there before. But that second main beam, 3.5 feet long, on the right side.
It just looked like as thick as a baseball bat. Just the biggest bull I've ever seen in my life. Like that was a big one. That was a big sucker, and I've seen some big ones, but that one was the biggest bull I've ever seen.
He was easy 400 non-typical.
And this is a Rosie we were talking about.
Yeah,
this is a Rosie.
Yeah, he was
monster.
Massive. And all I could think about is, God dang it! You know,
where was this guy?
I've never seen.
September.
I've hunted here 20-something years. You know, and there's this sucker, and I have the time when we did this, we were filming with a. There was like a Sony Handycam it had an SD card.
Yeah, it was like the first ones of like SDs. Like you could still put the film,
cassette.
Yeah, the cassette, little baby cassette in there. But we're like, no. It takes the SDs. We got 1 gig. That's enough.
It seems like that. You know, technology wise, it seems like those cassettes were a long time ago, but they really weren't.
No, dude, it's like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
if that.
And I'm not sure if they still sell them. Probably not now.
No,
but
they don't.
It seems like it was a long time ago, but just it was the other day. You know, to in time in all aspects. But we have a good time, and I wish that Washington State will become what it used to be. You know, I had growing up with the elk and stuff. We've seen a steep decline in our elk populations here, but it's still good. And I hunted at the peak, and I saw it fall off to where we would not see an elk for days and days. I mean, we used to see like 40 or 50 a day. I mean, it'd be nonstop craziness during archery season. And, you know, I've witnessed so many bull elk being taken on opening day of rifle season where the game warden stopped checking tags. He was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I seen you. Yep. I don't even know how to describe that, but it went down to a lull, and now it's on the upward swing, and the game is starting to come back slowly. I'm not sure what the catalyst of all that stuff was, but it was heart wrenching to live through and hunt through because you went out really realizing I'm probably not going to see an elk today.
Now, but what's crazy though about with Washington State with turkey is that it started very small, and now it's like exploding. We have turkey all over the whole state now.
They're everywhere, and
it's awesome. So if you're a turkey hunter, you want to come and try a different state to hunt. Turkey tags are not expensive here in Washington State. I think non-resident tag is like $66 or something like that, and then you can buy an additional tag. I don't know what that additional cost is.
Probably the same.
But
they know freebies.
It's not very expensive to come here and hunt turkeys if you want to come. Obviously, Dave and I met some guys from Alabama last year. I mean, they came all the way from Alabama to check this out, and they had a blast.
And they said they'll be back, and they got 6 birds between the 3 of them.
Yep,
and they were there for 5 days. But they said that the most impressive thing was the scenery. They were like, I've never seen a place like this.
Yeah, so the area that they were hunting in, I'm not going to say specific, but it's just, it goes huge mountains, rolling hills. I mean, there was like a bunch of different landscapes just in the small area.
It's incredible. Washington has some of the best topography of any state, just in the variation of environments. And if you want to come here and check it out, I would tell everybody to come here and check it out. I mean, people love to come here, especially in the spring and summer times. The falls can be very beautiful. The wintertime, it's kind of just gray, overcast.
Yeah, I would say from November to
January,
late April. It starts getting kind of nice.
That's a bonus. January's
in
a bonus.
May. But yeah. Don't visit during those months. Unless you just wanted the gray days.
Yeah. I do love it. So seeing the turkey population, when I was a kid, nobody turkey hunted. It wasn't something that was like,
it was almost, I wouldn't say it was tabooed.
It just didn't exist.
People just didn't. There were turkey hunters, but it wasn't like top of conversation, right?
It wasn't like today. You know, the National Wild Turkey Federation and other groups have done a tremendous job here, and the turkey population has just exploded to the point where now it's a mainstream hunt.
It's just a lot of fun. Just get out and try it. Just do it. I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm not going to hunt those stupid birds. You're probably going to be the one that's going to be coming back every year after you hunt that first season.
You're going to be addicted. It's so much fun. And last week we had Dirk on, and he said turkey hunting is as easy as you want to make it or as difficult as you want to make it. Mm-hmm. And you could have a great, nice leisure time doing some turkey hunt. If nothing else, you get to go to camp with your buddies. You get to hang out, talk, shop, just kick it in the woods. What's better than that? Enjoy some fresh air.
Yeah, definitely. Get away, disconnect. Be one with the woods. Listen to all the different sounds and all this other stuff. I mean, it's freaking fantastic. I love it.
And it's a good shed hunt. If you wanted to find some sheds, you can do that during turkey season. Also, it's a good scouting trip. Mm-hmm. You can see like what's changed since last year. You can just take a peek around. Enjoy the hike. Check it out. But Washington State has a lot to offer, and things are improving. They've introduced antelope. We have antelope that's been introduced. Yep. I'm excited about someday being able to hunt antelope in Washington State. That'd be
maybe not in our lifetime, but we'll see. We'll see.
A lot can happen in 10 years,
Who knows? But yes, right now I believe they're on the Yakima Indian Reservation, to where they're actually managing everything. Yeah, maybe we could have a hunt in 10 years. I mean, we won't be that old. Well,
they had them up in the Northeast as well.
Now, what I would like Washington to do is bring back the caribou. The
woodland caribou?
Yep, that used to be here in Washington State.
Well,
that would be cool. It would be cool just to have them here. I wouldn't necessarily, it'd be cool to hunt them.
Could you imagine like a million woodland caribou up here?
Well, I don't know about a million, but I think 70,000 could be.
I'm dreaming big. Let's dream big. If we're gonna dream, do it big.
Yeah.
We'll aim for the moon, shoot a star. You know how it goes.
But yeah, let's. What is our next deal here? Are we going to the map?
So Washington State has a division line. So our state has a mountain range. It's the Cascade Mountain Range. It basically flows down between regions. Our regions here, our state's broken into regions. It goes between 4 and 2 down here. And then it goes between 3, 6, and 5, and then 5 cuts across. This Klickitat County, down at the bottom, I don't know if you can see that mouse, but Klickitat County, they have statistics on the birds that have been harvested from there, but that's roughly 10% of the birds that are taken in the state every year, the turkeys. So you compare that to the east side, this is 60%, the northeast. I mean, this little place has a lot of birds. The easterns you're going to find on the west side, which is kind of counterintuitive. But
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Our easterns are on the west side, and to be honest, the west side is like the hardest part of the state to hunt
for anything
because it's just thick.
It's the jungle.
Yeah, we call it the jungle. I mean, moss hangs from the trees and goes to the ground. So I mean,
it's like a beaded curtain. You just walk in the house. Hello. I'm here. You know, like
Have you ever seen the very first Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? That's what we hunt.
so. Our state's divided in half, basically by the Cascade, and there's a Pacific Crest Trail, which is the demising line, and that thing goes all the way down to Mexico.
Yeah,
and all up into Canada. So if you're a hiker, you've heard of the PCT. That's our demising line between east and west side of the state. So you can hunt either side of the state, and in Washington State, you can get up to 3 birds per year.
Yes.
The reason is because we have east and west. Now, they have rules, and I'm just going to read this straight from the Department of Fish and Wildlife. It says a total of 3 turkeys in the spring season with the following restrictions. Only 2 turkeys can be killed in eastern Washington, except 3 can be killed in Spokane County. So that's Spokane County is the answer.
Now, yeah, you can go to Spokane County, but we have something called the turkey slam. You're not going to get the slam if you shoot all 3 of your turkeys in Spokane County.
Yeah, that's another thing.
But we'll talk into that here in a little bit, but
it's important.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Because there's an upside to this.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kill 3 turkeys in Spokane County. Only 1 may be killed in Kittitas and Yakima County, and then you have to move on. So if you're going to take 2 on the east side, and you take 1 in Kittitas or Yakima County, you can't hunt there again. You can't fill your second tag there. So don't go to Kittitas or Yakima with 2 tags in your pocket, shoot a bird on opening day, and then plan on hunting the rest of your 5 days.
Yeah, either you are a guide for your buddy, or if you're hunting solo or something like that, it's time to move on. Like, you got to go somewhere else.
So 1 turkey may be killed per year in western Washington, outside of Klickitat County. Now, Klickitat, we just showed on the map. That's this county down here, Klickitat County. This is, point to it, would you? Klickitat's on the very bottom of our screen. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the mouse, but Klickitat County, you can take 1 bird in western Washington outside of Klickitat County. So they're just drawing a straight line basically down here. There's a little carve out. But basically from west side over, straight down, you can take a 3rd bird. That would be your 3rd bird. So 1 turkey may be killed per year in western Washington outside Klickitat County. 2 turkeys may be killed in Klickitat County. Mm-hmm. Now that's crazy.
Well, because there's a west and there's an east.
But Klickitat's a west.
And Klickitat.
Well, the game unit wise, but not
yes, but not region wise. Yes.
So Klickitat would be considered a I don't know, a homogeneous what do they call it? Homogeneous zone or something like because there's an east side of Klickitat and a west side.
Yeah,
the PCT runs through it.
Yeah. Now are you going to get easterns in Klickitat? I don't know. I have no idea because we've actually hunted that area before, but on the east side. So,
and I've hunted the west side of it in Trout Lake. So there's opportunity
for birds though.
No, but it was elk. But I saw turkeys there when I was there.
Yeah.
You know? So there's 2 sides to it. Now here's where it gets. This is where it gets kind of interesting, because you can have this could be your very first hunt, right? You go out, you're turkey hunting, you get a bird, that's cool, everything's great. You're gonna do your fan display. Maybe you got some big spurs. You do that stuff. Washington State will give you a certificate for your first bird. They have your first turkey program. So if you harvest your first turkey in Washington State, you send in the information. It's on the website. Here's all the we got all the stuff listed here. You just go to wdfw.wa.gov and then you can check out turkey hunting, and then it tells you about this program. If you're taking children out, it's a nice thing to commemorate that first bird, and it's an incentive. So you're going to have this turkey certificate about your first turkey harvest.
That you get this National Wild Turkey Federation coin. It's first turkey, so that's something that a first hunter will be able to have forever. It's pretty cool.
When I took my first bird, I didn't even think this existed.
It didn't.
So it's like it'd be cool to have that.
This is a new program. I believe it was a couple years ago that they started doing this. They've had the slam, coin and certificate and all this other stuff, but they haven't had the first turkey one. And I don't know when it started, but I noticed it in the pamphlet probably 3 years ago. I didn't know about it when Devin got his first turkey, which would have been in this time frame. So I'm almost going to try to call Fish and Wildlife and say, hey, I'm going to try to get one for my son, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But that'd be really cool if he could have one. Because, man, to be honest with you, he might not be hunting again until he's done with college.
Well, they have, it just says email the following information: first and last name, date of harvest, subspecies, and that's it. I don't think you have to kill it in the year you get this. You just have to say when you got it. So I'll just submit it and see what they say.
Yeah.
What are they going to say? No. Then you get get a certificate in the mail and get this thing, and I'm sure they'll hand it out, man. It's promotion.
I just think it's really cool. I think it'd be cool for Devin to have that. We did a DIY fan. That's on our YouTube channel. It's further down in the video list, but he was super excited. When he shot it, he was small, and now the kid's taller than me. So
time flies,
dude. It's only been a couple years, and the kid grew like 3 feet.
So get out, get your first bird, and when you do, go to the first turkey program on the Department of Fish and Wildlife website. Submit your information. You can get this flag.
It's right here. outreach@dfw.wa.gov.
Easy as pie. This is what I'm interested in for me. Now, if you're a more experienced turkey hunter, or you're just a turkey hunter that has aspirations of something like an achievement you're looking forward to,
you're gonna jump from the free throw line,
slam dunk, and barely touching that
slam.
Barely touching that. Oh, okay, slam. We're going all the way. They have what's called the Washington Slam. Now, this is harvesting all 3 subspecies in Washington State. It's an Eastern, it's a Miriam, and it's a Rio Grande. Mm-hmm. Rio Grande.
So they have 2 different categories for the slam. So you could do all 3 subspecies in 1 year, or you could do the 3 species taken in 2 or more seasons. So, you have some wiggle room, but if you can get it done in 1 year, that's that free throw line's dunk.
Well, here's the catch for me. When you look at the year, so they've apparently had this running for 5 years. Since 2018. There's 3 people in 2018. There's 5 people in 19. 5 people in 20. 8 people 21. 5 people in 22. In the whole state of turkey hunters, so that's how many people have harvested all 3 in one season.
It's because they can't shoot an Eastern.
They're the hard birds to get. If you're saying what's your odds of getting an Eastern? They have it on here.
Slim to none. Like it, unless you know where they're at, like you pinpointed where they are, good luck.
Well, they're a sketchy bird. They're the guys in Alabama. They're saying those birds are keenly aware of everything. And the Easterns are in Southwest Washington and Northwest Washington. So the amount of percentages of harvest is 1% of
that's only in certain spots. It's like -1% in some other ones.
It was less than 1%. Yeah. Yeah.
So how is that even feasible?
Yeah. Well, there's enough hunters that can make it down to the decimal point if they want. So getting those 3 subspecies in one season, incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So they recognize that. They give you your Washington Slam. They're going to get a pin. But all you got to do is get out there and do it, And the challenge, they're basically daring you to do it.
So,
are you turkey hunter enough, Dave?
We are accepting the challenge from Washington State. We are going for the slam. And not only are we going for the slam, but we're going to try to video all of it.
Yeah, we're going to try to video the whole slam starting this weekend.
Yep.
So I'm going Easterns. You're going Miriams and Rios. Mm-hmm. You're checking out a new area.
Yep. Brand new area. Never been there before.
Which coincidentally is the first area that I have ever hunted for turkeys. Up the hill from you a little bit, but same basic, same city.
Yeah.
If there's a city right there, it's within proximity of that place. It's in Eastern Washington and within 15 minutes of where I was hunting the very first time.
And I'll be taking a new hunter. So maybe he can get his first turkey coin.
First turkey pin, first turkey slam. You can spoil this boy, man.
Yeah, so be looking out for
he's
more
not a
turkey
boy.
videos.
He's a grown man.
Yeah, he's a grown. Yeah, he's a grown man. Mikey P.
Yeah. So we're gonna try for our turkey slams this season. Here's the kicker: if you look at the multiple season award winners, there's only 7 in 5 years
total. Yeah,
and there may be more people that did it but didn't know about this program.
They probably didn't do the program, but why not? Why not go for the challenge and challenge yourself and go for the slam? I mean, we have a month and a half of Weekend Warrior. Man, I really may not do my motocross race. It's like taking away a weekend from turkey hunting.
It's on the list. We're going to try to complete this thing, and we're going to record it when we do. And here's the kicker. I'm not going to only shoot if I have it on film. You might just see a turkey down in film because I'm going to try to get the slam over getting the shots on film. So we'll go for that and see what it looks like.
Well, here's the thing with us filming as well. We're not pros. We're not professionals. We don't have cameramen. We're doing it on our own. So it's basically solo hunting. So if we can't get the shot on film, we're very sorry. But we're going to get everything leading up to it, and then, maybe after it. If we can get the shot, awesome, bonus. Yeah. But if we can't, hopefully you'll still see the animal on the ground, and, we'll make it look good. We'll have a good presentation for the video and everything. So,
yeah, it's going to be good. So I'm looking forward to it, man. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna give them all we got. And
that's a country that I'm kind of gonna.
Yeah, it kind of looks like I was thinking that's the same spot. Like, this son of a gun's on our hill. So we're gonna give it our best, and we're gonna try to do that this year. Let's jump into our gear. I know you're excited about your setup.
Yeah. So I've been running this for two seasons now. Actually, this is going into the third season. I've been running this chest rig. I'm gonna grab it real quick. All right, this is the marsupial. This is their actual fishing rig here. So I'm actually going to take everything out. So I have the GoPro set up. Got my pot call from Phelps here in the front. I have all my strikers in here. So
this pocket's pretty large too. I mean, it probably expands out 1.5 inches in the front pocket. I don't know if we can see how big that is.
Have a knife. I'm not going to take that out. And then I also have, since we hunt turkeys in the mountains and we're not just sitting in blinds and all that, I have a set of binos. So have my binos set up. And then if I don't bring binos, which I normally never do, or I never leave home without them, I would put my box call inside this other pocket here, but I have it off to the side.
Yeah, it's nice to have that little carrier too. Keeps it quiet.
Yeah, so it keeps it from rattling around and
calling them in while you're walking.
Yeah, but I have plenty of room to have all my calls. You can actually have 2 different pot calls if you want. You can have one on each side here. You can also run one of your strikers right here in front, right through here. But I am throwing my GoPro in there just to give a different camera angle and, maybe even get a shot. If I can't get my large camera set up, because I have it'll be set up on a tripod. If I can't get that set up, then it'll be filmed through the GoPro. So, and this is kind of a pain in the butt. Get in here.
It's a little tiny gap in that GoPro connector. So,
yeah.
Well, I am using my, I talked about this vest earlier. This vest, it not only does it look cool, but it's functional. So it's pretty sleek, and I got it on sale. I think it was 50% off when I bought it. So I was like, I got to get it. And I didn't know how I was going to use it, but I knew I'm probably going to use it at some point. What happened was, when I got all my gear on, I throw this little vest over the top of what I'm wearing, and it's not long. It's kind of short. It goes about to the bottom of your rib cage, but it has these pockets where everything kind of fits in there. I have my turkey pot call, and this goes right here in this little pocket, slips in. I have a bunch of little compartments if I want to have reeds. I call this my snack pocket right here. I put snacks in this pocket. If I want a little snack, I can put them right in here. Also, I can keep if I wanted to condition my pot call while I'm in the woods, I have these right in there. You got to have those in case things don't sound quite how you want them. On this side, I keep my striker. And it also has a second snack pocket up top. Now down the bottom here, it has these nice little pockets here. They're like ventilated little pockets. I like to keep my reeds in there. So I have my Phelps black bat in this pocket. And then I have this one here. This is Sassy V. I got this here. So the third reed we have, like we were talking earlier about having multiple reeds. This one is called the Green Viper. I have this one in here so I can just separate those in the pocket. I don't have to look around. I can put my hand in there. I know I can have my Green Viper, the Black Bat, or Sassy V right here where I need to get them without taking my stuff off and looking down low. It just kind of makes it easy. When I get to camp, I take this off, and all my turkey stuff is in one spot. I don't have to really search my pockets.
And see how different these are? We're not running the same stuff, which is cool. Mm-hmm. A little bit of variety and how different Dave and I actually have our gear.
Yeah, so what the main thing is having everything accessible to you. Make sure you have your loadout where you need it to be.
Right.
And whatever that looks like, put it together. Make sure you're comfortable with your setup and
yeah, whatever works for you. I mean, this guy's got a turkey vest and looks like he's got a decoy in the back. I mean, everybody runs things differently. I don't do a turkey vest. I just don't. I don't run around with the big old pad thing. That's just not for me. I do a little bit different hunting style. I call it run and gun. I'm pretty sure if you've been listening to the podcast, you've heard us talk about the run and gun. That is a style that we use for turkey hunting. And how my setup is set up for the run and gun. So it's very fast, very light, just flying.
Yeah, get in position, call, you're on the move, locate, call, ambush, man.
Yep, constantly moving. It's a lot of fun. I like that style. Don't get me wrong, there's millions of different styles that you can use, but that's the one that we use and that we are successful with. And how we have our setup is set up for the run and gun. And it's awesome.
If we were in an area that called for a different type of hunting, we would just adapt to that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we go here in the near future, I guarantee we're going to be in Tennessee hunting with our friend Luke. And it's going to be completely different than what we're going to be used to. And we're going to have to adapt to that style. Same with when we head over to Florida. We're going to go to Florida at some point.
Yeah.
And hunt turkeys over there. That's going to be different too. Number one, I'm going to be on high alert because I hate snakes. So it's going to be fun.
You know the one thing I learned about in Florida, turkey hunting?
What's that?
So when you see a wild hog, it instantly becomes a hog hunt.
Oh yeah, that's like with any hunt. Like when I go bear hunting and shoot coyotes, I mean, turns into a coyote hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah. And this is our setup, and we can't wait to get out in the woods. Dave's going to be hunting. We're both going to be hunting Saturday. We're just going to be hunting on different sides of the state. And Dave, good luck. And yeah, that's...
So by the time you watch this, if you're following us on Instagram, hopefully you see some dead birds before the podcast even comes out.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing that on our Instagram channels. So... Ridgeline Hunting and the Ridgeline Hunting podcast. But we have one more giveaway that we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving into the season, but we have 3 diaphragms that we're going to give away. So we'll have 3 different winners.
Is it a 3? It's a 3-pack or 3 singles?
Nope, 3 separate ones. So we'll have 3 separate winners, and that will be the end of our Phelps turkey call giveaway.
Awesome. You know what I'm looking forward to?
What's that?
Turkey carnitas.
Ooh, yes. Go to the website. They have they have a recipe.
They have recipes on the Department of Fish and Wildlife website. You probably can look them up in other places too. But
Meat Eater,
don't
check out Meat Eater. They probably got something.
Yeah, I got the Meat Eater cookbook. You don't want to miss out on the turkey carnitas, man. Delicious. Can't wait. Anyhow, get out, knock them down, and have fun.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? Get them close.